Welcome to another video with Invest with the Doctor. My name is Dr. Haider. I am an accident and emergency medicine doctor during the day, and during the night, I am a trader and an investor. In this video, which I think is another important video, I wanted to talk about silver, the price of silver, and the topic of this video, which is that 1 ounce of silver now is worth more than a barrel of gold, as you can see from the YouTube thumbnail. Now, I've been talking about the price of silver on and off on my channel, and if you have been a regular viewer of my channel, you would have seen my emphasis on the price of silver, and I've been telling the people who have been watching my videos or my followers why it's important to invest in silver. And I've also mentioned different silver stocks which would be worth investing in. So I'm going to talk about all of these things once again, but not in such details. So one concept that I wanted to talk about today is the gold to silver ratio. So gold to silver ratio is one of the most important concepts in precious metal investing. What it is, how it works, why traders and investors watch it, and what it means for the future price of silver. We are going to talk about all of these things in this video. So what is the gold to silver ratio? The gold to silver ratio tells you how many ounces of silver equal the value of 1 ounce of gold. So how many ounces of silver equal to 1 ounce of gold? We are comparing silver and gold here. So if you look at the price of gold at the moment, the price is 4,340 US dollars, as you can see in this chart here. The price is hovering at around 4,340 US dollars. So that's the price of gold. And this is the price of silver. As you can see at the moment, it is showing 67 US dollars. So we're talking about 1 ounce of silver. So if you take the price as 4,300 of gold and 67, so 4,300 divided by 67 is 64. So 1 ounce of gold is equal to 64 ounces of silver. This is the gold to silver ratio at the moment. It is 64. Now, it's important to understand why the ratio matters. The gold to silver ratio shows you whether silver is cheap or expensive compared to gold. A high ratio means silver is cheap. I made some sort of TikTok you could say posters a while back, and at that time it was above 100. Above 100. That was this gold to silver ratio was above 100, and now it's come down to $64. So low ratio means silver is expensive. Historically, silver tends to outperform when this ratio is extremely high, because it eventually catches up to gold. So the best thing is, if the silver ratio is high, that would be the best time to get into silver. And when this ratio is narrowing, that is when silver is outperforming, but may not be the best time to get into silver. But it catches up. That's the thing. Now, historically, the long-term historically, the gold to silver ratio is 50 to 60. When the ratio exceeds 80 to 90, silver is historically undervalued. So there was a time when I was pointing to the fact that it was above 100, and that would have been a great time or a low risk time to get into silver. But I think it's still not too late. So it's 64 at the moment, but when the ratio dips below 40, silver becomes overvalued compared to gold. Okay, so it's 60 at the moment, but if it drops below 40, then silver becomes overvalued, and then it doesn't make sense to get into silver anymore. So what I'm trying to tell you is there is still room to run for silver. It's not too late. During big silver bull runs, the ratio often collapses, so it can go lower than 40. Okay, it can go lower than 40. When a ratio is why a high ratio is often bullish for silver. A high ratio means gold has already moved up strongly, silver is lagging, and historically silver eventually plays catch up. Because silver has both industrial and monetary demands, it tends to surge more aggressively once it begins a bull phase, and that is exactly what's happening at the moment. uh, what traders use it for? Now, timing rotation between gold and silver is important for them. When the ratio is very high, some investors sell gold and buy silver. Forecasting metal cycles, gold usually rallies first, silver follows later with much larger moves. So the central banks have been buying gold, um, and they continue buying gold, and I think they're going to continue buying gold for the next 4 or 5 years. They don't look at the price of gold, they just continue buying. And what happens is silver follows later with much larger moves, much larger moves. So silver moves are usually quite parabolic. As spotting the undervaluation, high gold to silver ratio means silver is cheap relative to gold. And predicting future silver price targets. Analysts calculate future silver levels assuming the ratio returns to normal. What this means today, a strong um, silver rally could compress the ratio to 60, which it is at the moment, 50, which is coming, or even 40 during commodity super cycles that we are into at the moment. Okay, so it's at the moment, like I showed you, it's 64 at the moment. Okay, it can get compressed to 50 and even 40. Okay, it's 64 as I just showed you on the charts here. Now, I made a post on Twitter. I still like to call it Twitter as opposed to X. Silver is up nearly 115% year to date and more than 70% in the past 6 months. I made numerous videos on my channel from last year on silver and gold, and I still don't think that it's too late to invest in silver. You have to follow the money. You have to follow the money. Let me show you something. So this is my YouTube channel, and if you see here, I'll show you that I've been talking about gold and silver for a little while. Now this video I made why invest in gold, and if you see here, it was made 8 months ago. Then I talked about investing in gold stocks. This was again 8 months ago, and it would have been a very good time if you had followed the channel and invested like I was mentioning here. Gold stocks with risk levels. I talked about the various companies that mining companies that you could invest into, which would give you a good return. Then if you see here, I was talking about making money with gold stocks. And then later on, I was talking about rise of silver mining stocks, which have since gone parabolic. And if you see here, I made a whole video talking about silver. This is 3 months ago. And I was talking about the silver move and saying that it's a good time to invest in silver because I was seeing a pattern which is basically a cup with handle pattern, which would definitely, and it was breaking out of the cup with handle, and I mentioned in this video here that it would have been a perfect time to invest in silver. Then I talked about the different ETFs that you could get into on silver. Then I mentioned, then I did another video here. This is 2 months ago and was called Protect Your Portfolio. You can have a look at it, watch it if you get a chance, and you will understand why I was talking about gold and silver and the prices going up. So again, even at that time, it was not too late to invest in gold or silver. This is why I make these videos. People often ask me, oh, is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to buy? While I'm making the videos, I'm investing in these instruments myself. So it would still be a good time to buy if I'm making a video and telling you that it is still a good time to buy. Now let me show you in this one, in this video where I was talking about silver rising, I showed you a pattern on silver. So this is silver, and if you can see here, you can see a cup, okay, with handle, and it was breaking out of this cup with handle. So that's why I mentioned that it's a good time to invest in it. And look at what these are, daily candles. Okay, look at what has been happening to the price of silver since. Do you see how it's breaking out? I'm just showing you day by day what's been happening. Okay, do you see a move here? This is a very, very parabolic and quite a substantial move. I didn't think that it's going to move this quickly, but I did know that if it's breaking out of this pattern here, that is likely to go up much higher. Now let's measure this. So if I take the measuring tool and I measure it to the current price, that's a 23% rise from the cup with handle pattern. 23% rise. So that's quite a big rise. That was at the time that I was trying to make this video. Now in this video that I'm talking about what's been happening, and now that it's $67. If you see, an ounce of silver now buys you a barrel of oil. Let that sink in. 1 ounce, okay, one small coin of silver is now worth more than a whole barrel of oil. Now in technical analysis, when a ratio breaks out above a long maintained resistance, it indicates a regime change. Prices are more likely to continue in that direction than immediately reverse. So people will think, oh, the price of silver has gone up so much, it's going to retrace back. Well, it might, okay. Silver has a way of doing that, but it's more likely to go up higher in the long term. Central banks are still buying gold, okay, and silver follows the price of gold, okay, and that's why I was showing you this gold to silver ratio that's telling you that the gold, that silver, if you buy now, it's still cheap in comparison to when that gold to silver ratio is going to compress to 50 or even 40. Now there is a reversion potential. If silver historically oscillates above and below its long-term norms, a sustained break above those norms suggests that there is room to run before mean reversion happens. So basically, yes, the price of silver may go up, may go down from here, okay, but it's not going to go down by a whole lot. I don't think that it's going to, in the next few weeks or months, it's going to come down 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. I don't think that's happening anymore. It might, anything can happen, but it's less likely to do that. I mean, if you see the strength on on the MACD, it is, look at how overbought it's been the whole time. So you can see the line here, and it continues to be overbought for ages. Okay, so it's possible that the price just continues higher. Okay, now I think it will get there's going to be resistance at around $70, but then 3 months from now, from 4 months from now, it's going to break that $70 range, and it's going to break into, it's entirely possible in the in 6 months or 8 months or 9 months, it is going to be $80. So if you buy at at $60, which is the price when I'm making this video now, you would be quite happy when the price goes to $80. That's also entirely possible. What I'm trying to tell you is, I think that there is a big shift that's happening in the stock market, and that shift is these shiny metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, they're all going to go up higher. Even copper is going to go up higher. I'm going to be making separate videos on these. I'm going to be making a video on copper as well if I get a chance. I think they're all going higher. Okay, and silver is going much higher even from here, and this was my reason for emphasizing the price of silver. I think these are very strange times, but you have to go where the money is going. You have to follow the money if you want to make big moves in your portfolio. And that is all that I've been trying to do on my channel. And I've done tons and tons of research. I've spent hours on researching these things, so that you don't have to spend so much time, and you can get some information about investing in these. Now, I've told you how to invest in silver. If you don't know, I think a good idea would be to look at my previous video on my channel, and that video mentions where in silver you should be which silver ETF you should be investing in, and silver miners is another way to go. And I've mentioned a few companies in my previous video. If you haven't watched it, please do watch it. All of those companies that I've mentioned in my previous video, it would have been a good time to buy then, and I think still in silver miners, it's still a very good time to invest in it. So you go watch that video, try to invest in those silver mining stocks. I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. By profession, I'm a doctor, so I could be wrong, but I've done some research and I've shown you my research, and I hope you find it useful. And if you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.